Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video, I basically want to talk about the program that we wrote earlier in the previous video and basically explain it. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and open it up. So as you already seen, if you watched the previous video, this is the code that we had on the screen earlier, but I just never explained what this code does. I just said type it out and then run it with me and then see what happens. That was basically the purpose was to be able to see if JGrass is running and correctly working on your machine. But in this video, I basically just want to break down this code right here as you see on the screen. So to first begin, we start with public class. So if as you may not have known, or if you did know, I'm just assuming that you guys don't know, but every program that you write in Java will always start with with these words public class, which signifies to the program and the compiler that hey, I'm going to be writing a Java class, and as you see right here, we named it test. So that means the name of our class. And as you see, the name that we saved it is called test.java. Some of you guys are wondering and asking the question so far, like, does it always have to be test? Like, can I have like public class, whatever name I want? I will go ahead and answer that later when I talk about errors so far and what could go wrong. But the short answer is this name could be any name that you want. It could be TV, cookies, and I'll explain later why that is. But every class that you write should start with public class and the name that you want, and opening curly brace and a closing curly brace. So the reason why we have these opening and closing curly brace is to signify to the program that hey, I'm gonna have a program inside this class. And so what the compiler does is it looks to the first curly brace and the last curly brace and it says, okay, where does the program begin and where does the program end? And it always begins after the first curly brace and it always ends before the closing curly brace. And so that's basically the whole reason why we start with public class, the name, and the curly braces. Again, if you spelled this wrong, like if you gave it a different name, or if you didn't have any spaces, or let's say this name of this file didn't match the name of this file, again, I'll talk about that in the next video. Or if you didn't have this opening curly brace and this closing curly brace, your program will basically not even run. That's known as an error, which again I'll talk about in the next video. So basically, this is the whole underlying detail and idea that I'm trying to get across is that every Java program that you write will start with public class, the name you want, opening curly brace and a closing curly brace. Again, this is the programming syntax for Java because you'll be writing code and you'll be having code inside this class. And so basically, you have to be able to tell the compiler, hey, I'm going to have a class and the code that I'm going to write is going to go inside of here. So that's basically the whole underlying detail of how to begin a Java program. And earlier you saw in the last video, I clicked this button right here, and some of you guys were wondering like what that was. Again, that as you can see, if I hover over it again, it says compile file. What this does is that it will compile your program. Because Java is a compiled language, meaning that it needs to be run through a compiler, it'll basically compile your program to see if it has any issues. And if it does, it will report it to you. That's known as a compiler error. If it doesn't, if I click it right here, it says I don't have any issues. So that means I'm good to go. But in the next video, I'll talk about the cases that if I click this compile button, what will show up, and like what happens if like I don't have this, or if I did something else, or if I missed something. Again, that's the next video. Hopefully, you watch that. But yeah, this video basically serves as the whole underlying idea of why it's important to start a Java program with public class, the name you want, opening curly brace and a closing curly brace to signify to the Java programmer, the Java compiler, that hey, I'm going to be writing a class named this and I'm going to be having some sort of code and I want you to be able to run it and do this later on, and we'll give it instructions of what to do. And yeah, this concludes this video, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.